Good morning, everyone. BIXWeirRoadRooter.com with your morning news and your horn of Z's. Sip of coffee. Big day. Most exciting day of the month in my world. um, just got Clif High's new report. And I know you can't buy it yet because it hasn't been put up on the site. I think today or tomorrow it will go up. But I got a copy. It's called Bare Naked Wealth. Haven't even looked at it yet, but just the title gets me excited. Probably about the cryptos because Bitcoin's going crazy, and this is the time when he said, silver's really going to rock. So we'll see. It says an asymmetric linguistic trends analysis intelligence report on Bitcoin, altcoins, and precious metals for speculators. Ooh, this is a little different. I'm very excited. May through 2008. Oh, this is his new report. Yeah, this is on this isn't the Alta report. This is the I forgot what he was going to call it. Well, this is it right here. Asymmetric Linguistics Trends Analysis Intelligence Report on Bitcoin. This is the money report, I believe. I'll get back to you on that. Not exactly sure. I just got it in my inbox. I'm real excited to look at it, of course. But let's see what's going on in the world, in the reality we live in, which is a very scary reality, but one that we're gonna have to live through. So hang in there, stay tough. If you have Bitcoin, and you're real happy. If you have Ethereum, you're even more happy. I'm still learning about Ethereum, so bear with me on that. But nothing but blue sky I see for that cryptocurrency. All right, let's move on. See what's happening on Zero Hedge this morning. Economic reality: bottom 50% of Americans no longer matter. Previously, the bottom third did not matter. Then the bottom 40% did not matter. Now the bottom 50% did not matter. Brexit was the first warning shot. Trump was the second. As soon as the bottom 65% don't matter, those 65% may vote to take matters into their own hands. That's where we're headed. We are headed for either a violent revolution or a non-violent revolution through voting. But then again, look what happens when you put people into power. They have to do certain things that go along with the party lines or the system lines for one reason or another. Nobody knows why Trump has made this 180. I believe he's still, in my gut, I feel he's still on the side of the good guys. Just certain things need to be done right now that require him to play along. And remember, if the system fails when he's playing along with the bad guys, then that whole dynamic is going to go out the window, and everything can change in America. But truthfully, I thought he'd do it a lot sooner and crash the system a lot sooner. All he has to do is walk down to the Steve Mnuchin's trading desk in the basement of the Treasury and say, "This ends now, in the game now," or just pick him up by his scrawny little shoulders and throw him away. And then no one will be rigging the markets so the markets can find true fair market value. That's a symbolic thing. Obviously, there's computer programs that are rigged for probably decades on out that are already in place. The question is, who's going to click the mouse to turn them off, or who's going to, what big bank entity is going to crash to set off the dominoes of crashes. Anyway, moving on. It's a happy Monday. And the anniversary of the Silver drive-by shooting is today, May 1st. Happened in 2011. I did a video this weekend on it. Go check it out. Called Operation Silver Slam. Really interesting stuff about who did it, how they did it, and why they did it. All gets back to J.P. Morgan and friends. A guy named Bill Daley was the chief orchestrator. He was the SWAT team leader for Jamie Dimon at J.P. Morgan, who was put as the President Obama's right-hand man during the time of the Silver Slam, chief of staff at the White House, believe it or not. Crazy stuff. But check out the video. It also has to do with the killing of Osama bin Laden that happened on the same day. All right, this is what a bank run looks like. Home Capital loses 70% of deposits in 1 week. This is that large Canadian home financer that is imploding as we speak. Is this the pinprick that pops the housing bubbles could be, or the banking bubbles could be. I mean, I think 1,000 pinpricks in all these bubbles is what's going to happen. This is just one of them, and it's a big one, so it's a first good sign that the things are about to go a little sideways. Stockman slams Trump's dead on arrival tax plan, warns Wall Street's delusional for believing it. I don't know what the stock market is thinking. Well, first of all, the stock market is rigged every day and every trade. So the stock market does not think. It doesn't have a brain. Its brain is a computer CPU, if you want to really think about it. Run out of the Fed and run out of Treasury. Programs written by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s. How many times do I have to say it? But anyway, I don't know what the stock market is thinking. But if they have faith in a giant fiscal stimulus and tax cut, then it's a delusional faith that's going to be badly disappointed, I think, fairly soon, yes. So what Trump is doing now is the worst thing for the bad guys. It would be imploding the market. Blow the bubbles bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. They're already too big. You blow them bigger, you're going to pop it faster. And that's what he's doing. Attention turns to Toronto's subprime debt time bomb. While Toronto and Vancouver are leading the market for risky mortgage debt, right back to this first article on the bank run on Home Capital. Let's see. While Toronto and Vancouver are leading the market for risky mortgage debt, they aren't alone. Canada has dodged the real estate commodity cycle for almost 30 years. That's true. That has produced a whole generation of people who have no idea the real estate market is a cyclical market. This irrational exuberance and the thoughts that this market will never end is placing all homeowners in a precarious situation. Here's the deal. This is all part of the plan, the Road to Ruta plan. Alan Greenspan's graduate thesis is called The Road to Ruta. Only one entity has seen it. It was Barron's, and who only was allowed to see part of it, I think back in the 90s. And they only reported on part of it, but the part they reported on was Alan Greenspan's take on the housing market and how it is not a perpetual money machine, and that you blow it bigger, it's going to bust and destroy everything because it's one of the largest asset classes in the world. It was all part of the Road to Ruta plan. Build your infrastructure, build houses, build roads, build your military, blow all the bubbles as big as possible when you're on an unbacked fiat monetary system, pop the bubble, and then you can return to a gold standard. That was always the plan of Alan Greenspan. He wrote about it in his doctorate thesis that's never been seen by the human eye other than this one report that came out of Barron's. Didn't even get to read the whole thing, just the chapter on the housing market blowing up. And that's where we are. All right, Fed's favorite inflation indicator slumps back below mandate. Now what, Janet? Dear Janet, U.S. economic growth is the weakest in 3 months, and your favorite inflation indicator is below mandate levels. Why are the June rate hikes still in 70% chance? Janet Yellen's job is to blow that bubble bigger. Stanley Fischer's job behind her is to do the evil work. But Yellen is she's a puppet. She's not very bright at all. I met her decades ago. Now it's decades. In San Francisco, and I was not impressed. Embarrassing. And why was she put there? Either as a patsy to take the fall, or they knew that she would do what she was told, and she didn't really understand why she was doing it. But and they needed a woman in there. But that's the sad thing, is these high positions that women are being placed. Why are you choosing women like Hillary Clinton and Janet Yellen? There must be, come on, women, stand up to the plate. I know they're not letting you do much, but it's sad when the highest positions held by women are basically put in there because of how they can be manipulated, and with Hillary Clinton is how she can manipulate the pocketbooks of people. Her and Bill were all about the money. Get the money into our foundation, into our pockets, and do it secretly. And just what an evil couple. I don't know if they're even still alive these days. Rumors that Hillary has died long ago keep coming back, and if you look at the pictures of Hillary now, she looks like she's in her 40s. So body doubles and clones or whatever they're using CGI like they did on her speeches. Um, crazy stuff. Bill is actually, they actually admitted that he's on his deathbed, so we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. Oh, nice time for them to get out of the picture, right before, pedophile stuff comes out, and right before they start throwing criminals in jail. uh, Two of the biggest criminals known to the United States or the world are being escorted to the Kinley Island for dead people. Anyway, moving on. Third time's a charm. White House plans Wednesday's healthcare vote. Confident it has the votes. The healthcare has more to do with destroying the monetary system and getting something in place for when the system crashes. The current monetary system crashes, because if you have something in place, that's a big part of it. Is everything's going to be free after the monetary system crashes. It's going to be chaos, but it's going to be free because nobody has any money. So is it a good thing that some kind of healthcare government sponsored healthcare systems in place? Probably for the crash. It's not going to fix anything, obviously. It's gonna be worse if the system goes on and on. But there were reasons to get this healthcare initiative into place before the system crashes. We'll find out, though, Juncker reportedly slams constructive meeting with UK's May. She's deluding herself. Having both flexed her rhetorical muscles over the weekend, EU proclaiming their negotiating stance would be firm and UK saying the talks would be confrontational. It appears behind the scenes of the May described constructive meeting with EU's Juncker was a disaster. Yeah. This is the one of the lead front battles of the war against the bad guys. What's going on in the EU versus what the UK is going to do, and hopefully France and Italy and Spain and all those people. The EU will be gone. That is the leading edge of the bad guys right now. They are still in power in Europe, and until the EU is destroyed, which could be any day with Deutsche Bank's book and Monte de Pesci's back in the news again. I think that's a good thing to keep an eye on, that fight between the EU and the UK on the Brexit. All right. Despite Trumphoria, U.S. personal spending growth stagnates as savings rates hit 7-month highs. Despite the exuberant hype surrounding Trump's election, Americans appear to have once again turned to saving and not spending, as the savings rate jumps to 5.9%, highest since August. Saving where? Now, where are you going to save? You make no money in the bank. I hope people are saving by, if they don't know about the cryptocurrencies, if they don't know about gold and silver in your own possession, I hope they are saving cash under their mattress, because cash in a bank will be gone, completely wiped out with the banking crash and the derivative crash. All right, North Korea, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's kind of boring. No, North Korea is not going to be allowed to fire nuclear missiles anywhere. We are being helped by higher beings. I've said it 50 times, and there's video of a U.S. rocket that was supposed to be something not so good on that rocket blowing up on the launch pad, and if you slow it down, you can see something. It's either a missile or it looks more like a spaceship, if you ask me, going right through and making that rocket blow up. So it wasn't an accident, and the rocket scientists didn't get it wrong. The military people got it wrong and shouldn't have been launching that whatever was going up. Anyway, I think that's what's blowing up all the North Korea tests to the people who are protecting us. So yeah, I think Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, will be taken out. I don't think it'll be. It might even be. There's talk he's going to seek asylum somewhere, like in Russia, because his whole country is a setup. Not the people, but the leadership of the country was set up by the bad side, the bad guys. The Bush family is heavily involved in that, and the Rothschilds. So that's the last country stronghold, I believe. So those would be the two strongholds. Is the Saudi Arabia is kind of not even a stronghold anymore. They're completely dependent upon the petrodollar, and that whole dynamic is crashing as we speak. But North Korea and the EU is where the bad guys roost as far as governance. All right, let's see, anything exciting here. Congress reaches deal to keep government open through September. Da, da, da. We'll see what happens. The monetary system crashes and the banks go. Government is not open through September. Government will have no money. Government keeps their money in banks as well. So yeah, if there's no money, the government's not going to stay open. So it's not that big a deal. But it gives you an idea of where the good guys are planning to finally pull the plug in the September timeframe. I'm not saying it's not going to start crashing. I think it has started crashing already. So I'd say May 1st through September, October will be the drawn out smooth landing crash. But it's not going to be a smooth landing, obviously. So look for banks to crash between now and September and continually crash, and things get worse and worse and worse, and it's getting dragged on. I think we should just pull the Band-Aid and shut the banks now. Just you can give any reason you want. You don't even have to give a reason. Just destroy one big bank and it's over, like Deutsche Bank. Again, the housing market is collapsing. Japan deploys warship to support the U.S. Armada. Authorizes necessary use of weapons for the first time since World War II. Yeah, Trump is not going to be the one firing shots on North Korea. If it's anybody, it'll be China or Japan. And so be it. That's the last stronghold of the bad guys. So that of anywhere in the world that might turn into a hot war, that would be it. But it won't last long. It really won't last long. If it gets to that, I don't think it'll get to that, but it might. Path to Le Pen victory. What would it take? It would take the end of the rigging of the computer-driven voting machines. That's what it would take. That's all. It's like in the U.S. That's what happened. North Korea nightmare continues. The missile tests continue and will accelerate. What should Washington do now? CNN. If you watch CNN, they want war so bad. World War III. Bring it on. Trump's not tough enough. Oh my God. CNN. It's all about the ratings. They get better ratings if we're at war. Just criminal network. So they should be taken out. If there's any war that should be going on, it's the CNN war. Okay, let's see. 20 amazing things that happen every single minute of every single day in our rapidly changing world. Our technological capabilities are advancing at a rate that is exponentially increasing, meaning seismic cultural shifts that used to take decades now can be accomplished in a matter of months or even weeks. So will all this change lead to a wonderfully positive future for humanity, or will it result in a dystopian nightmare? I think a little of both. I think the dystopian nightmare has to happen at least for a while, because we have to take out the unbacked fiat monetary system or let it crash. We don't have to take it out. All we have to do is stop supporting it. And when that happens, you take away the money from the bad guys, and they want that nightmare to happen. So yeah, it's all happening now, and it's exciting time to be alive, a scary time to be alive, but hang in there. Things will be fine. Doug Casey on why gold is money. It is an unfortunate historical anomaly that people think about the paper in their wallets as money. The dollar is technically a currency. A currency is a government substitute for money. But gold is money. I agree. I think the only thing I disagree with is the amount of gold that is in the world. I totally disagree with Gatta and Doug Casey and anybody who claims that the entire amount of gold ever mined in the history of the world is 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. I think it's like 180,000 ounces. 180,000 tons of gold. I think that's complete bullshit. Absolute 100% wrong. Just read the Yamashita Gold documents from Peggy and Sterling Seagrave, Gold Warriors. Do any kind of research on the Nazi gold or the Golden Lily treasure or the Chinese Emperor gold. The amount of gold is unknown. I think they're trying to calculate it now behind the scenes. But the amount of gold hidden in the ground is completely unknown and hidden from the world, especially the United States. Huge gold mines were found in the Grand Canyon and at Chocolate Mountain in California. That's just 2 of them. There's a whole lot more that the government, Dianne Feinstein has locked away huge swaths, millions of acres of desert wildlife that is gold-rich country into natural wildlife, desert wildlife preserves. It's crazy stuff. I mean, absolutely. You look at it and you're like, well, wait a minute. This is massive amounts of wealth in the ground that the United States has just been hiding and holding. Obama had a huge land grab when he left office as well. Government land grab. 41% of California is owned by the federal government. Take that. So yeah, there's massive amounts of gold, well over 1 million tons, as far as I can tell. Probably 2 or 3 million tons. And it's not conspiracy theory. Just look at the fact. Peggy and Sterling Seagrave are brilliant, and I'm surprised they made it as far as they did in their book Gold Warriors. And read it. It's all about the gold that has been used to fund the black projects, and probably the secret space program in the United States, but mainly the bad guys like the Bushes and the Clintons and all that. So that, yeah, gold is money, true, but there's a lot more gold out there than people are saying. I'm not saying the price will go down, though. I mean, the rig is a hell of a lot more electronic derivatives on gold than there is physical gold. So the prices of everything need to find their true fair market value because they've been rigged for so long. I would say gold has been rigged since before 1913, really in hyperdrive since the invention of computers into the markets by Alan Greenspan in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It is never ending. Anyway, that's on that note. Keep an eye on the cryptos. Ethereum, I'm still learning about it. It's very similar to Bitcoin as far as buying it and getting it offline. Don't leave it in an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken or whatever, wherever you buy your cryptocurrencies. Take it offline into a Trezor wallet or into a paper wallet, because that you can't have third-party risk. All these cryptocurrency companies, third-party companies, will go down with the banking crash. They're funded and they run off and they pay their salaries in fiat money, so they will all go down no matter how much crypto they have. And then, do you really want to be part of a bankruptcy like in Mt. Gox to see how much crypto you get back? I wouldn't want to be. So get it offline, get it in your pocket. This is BIX Weir, roadtoroota.com. Make sure you subscribe. Thumbs up too. Hey, thumbs up. Thanks, guys.